Once again, I am sharing the 360 from Congregation Bethel in beautiful Tyler, Texas. Beautiful, rainy Tyler, Texas. You'll hear some raindrops in the background. This week we are in the Torah portion called Yitro. It's named for Moses' father-in-law. It contains the most important text, not only in Jewish history, but possibly in the history of Western civilization. The Aseret HaDibrot, or the Ten Commandments, are the cornerstone of Jewish ethical behavior. Of all the commandments in the Torah, there are 613. These 10 are singled out as the most fundamental. So let's have a little bit of fun and remind ourselves of the text of the 10 commandments. Some of these are slightly abbreviated. 1, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. 2, you shall have no other gods besides me, including no graven images. 3, you shall not swear falsely by the name of the Lord your God. 4, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 5, honor your father and your mother. 6, you shall not murder. 7, you shall not commit adultery. 8, you shall not steal. 9, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. 10, you shall not covet your neighbor's house. Our tradition teaches that our ancestors stood at Sinai and received the 10 commandments. The revelation at Sinai was an affirmation of the eternal covenant between God and the Israelites. Modern Jews know the phrase that we are the chosen people, that God, Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, that God chose us from all the other families of the earth to receive the law. Some modern Jews are uncomfortable with the language of chosenness because we presume that God loves all people on earth equally. And so why would God choose one family over the others to build out this covenant? This can be problematic, and the ancient rabbis were also concerned with this assertion. So there's a wonderful midrash where they address this very issue of self-proclaimed chosenness. And this midrash guides us to this day. The rabbis imagined a number of discussions between God and the other nations of the world long before God got around to us. The midrash begins by saying God offered the 10 commandments and the whole of Torah to many nations, so they would never be able to say, had God given us the Torah, we would surely have accepted it. The midrash continues, God approached the children of Esau and asked, will you accept the Torah? What is written in it? They asked. You shall not murder, God replied. The children of Esau asked, do you plan to deny us the blessing bestowed upon our father Esau? He was blessed with the words, by your sword you shall live. We cannot accept the Torah because it denies us the right to murder. Ouch. Then God went to the children of Lot and offered them the Torah. What is written in it? They asked. You shall not commit acts of sexual immorality, God replied. But we are descended from acts of sexual immorality. Read the story in Genesis. So they responded, we cannot accept the Torah. Then God approached the children of Ishmael and said, will you accept the Torah? What's written in it? They asked. You shall not steal, God replied. Will you deny us the blessing of our father? They continued, our father was promised that his hand will be against every man. We cannot accept the Torah. Then God came to Israel and said, will you accept the Torah? What is written in it? They asked. God answered, it contains 613 mitzvot, commandments. The children of Israel responded, all that the Lord has commanded we shall do and we shall obey. The midrash finishes, God was pleased with their words and gave Israel the Torah for an inheritance throughout their generations. This phrase, we shall do and obey, has been the go-to response of Jews for centuries. Whenever the concept of chosen people was called into question, Jews could always go back and argue, well, your ancestors had first crack at the law and they denied it. My ancestors simply responded, we shall do and obey. And God gave the law to them, and they in turn gave the law to me. Even though the Jewish people became the caretakers of Torah, and it is our job as Jews to practice and preach its ethics, the central laws of the Ten Commandments were not only for the Jews, they were for all people. Even though the Ten Commandments are found in the text of the Hebrew Bible, they are considered universally applicable. In a very real sense, the Ten Commandments are the basis of a holy social contract with all people. These particular 10 laws, which govern communal behavior, personal behavior, and demand religious attention to God, they have become universal laws which allow us to live holy and righteous lives. And let me add that even though the Midrash suggested that the other nations of the earth denied the Torah for themselves, Jews today recognize the importance of modern people who practice and preach the Ten Commandments as if it were their own. Specifically, the Christian community has been incredibly fruitful in promoting the values of the Ten Commandments. Over the past 2,000 years of Christianity, billions of people have come under the teachings of these laws and have come closer to God because of our Christian friends. The same is true about our other monotheistic sister, Islam. Although Muslims do not read the Hebrew Bible, they have incorporated the central tenets of the Ten Commandments into their teachings as well. They promote monotheistic observance, they outlaw murder, stealing, coveting, and they place an emphasis on honoring parents. In this way, Jews can understand the Ten Commandments in a new light. While the rabbis of old saw the Ten Commandments as a present given only to Jews by God, after all the other nations had denied it, Jews today recognize that we have great partners in Christianity, in Islam, and other religious communities in promoting holy values. In this way, we are all holy collaborators. Let us read the Ten Commandments this week with a renewed appreciation for all those who work to build a holier world. Now go out and be Torah.